Alright, hello everyone. So this is going to be a guide on Season 5. This one will be mainly targeted towards the new players and the returning players who have never experienced a season change. For the old players, there is some good stuff here for us, which is number 4, identity level cap increase, as well as Luxcavation changes. This one's very good. All of our Luxcavations got buffed and they're adding new ones. So very, very nice. And they also mentioned a Season 5 announcer when Part 3 drops. So look forward to that one as well. But yeah, that's really pretty much it for an old player. Old players already know the gist of what happens here. But for new and returning players who have never experienced a season transfer, let me just remind you what happens, okay? So let's start off with currencies. All of your currencies get halved when you go into Season 5. Okay, not all. Not your lunacy, alright? Only your ego shards, your ego shard crates, and if you're a returning player, you have your universal shards for Season 4. All of these get halved. Not your lunacy, not your EXP, not your threads, none of these get affected. Only the currencies used to get units will get halved, except for lunacy, of course. Right. So the main thing here is just shards, alright? So what happens is that it will be divided by 2 and then it will be rounded up. So 5 divided by 2, 2.5, you get round up into 3. 15 divided by 2, 7.5, round up equals to 8. And this will work for every single thing here. So what this does, right, is that it encourages you to go and pick up your Season 4 IDs and Egos before it gets converted into Season 5 shards. Then after that, you only have half of the shards required in order to get the Season 5 IDs and Egos. So Season 4, prioritize on getting the ones that you really, really want, because after it transfers, you're also locked out of dispensing from the Season 4 Dispensary. Alright, I'll talk about that one in a little bit, but that's essentially what's going to happen to your currency, so do not be alarmed. All of your currencies, when they get converted, they will get converted into threads. The remaining ego shards are converted into threads. Ego shards, the boxes, right, when they convert, all of the excess will also get converted into threads. So if you have a lot of it in excess, you'll be able to convert it into threads so that you'll be able to uptie the future season characters over here. So yeah, that's how the system works. You gotta get used to it because this is how it's going to work for the rest of the seasons pretty much. Alright. So the next one is that the story is not going to be released immediately, it's releasing in parts. So we get part 1 and only level 1 to level 20 battle pass will be accessible to you, but you can still overgrind EXP. If you grind to level 120 already in the first date, I know some people will do that. What happens is that when you come here, you will get all the EXP shoved into the level 40, and then after that you still have a bunch of EXP over here for the cap of the battle pass, but that one will be stored. And so what happens is that you get all of the retroactive rewards here, and then after you go here and then you get a bunch of EXP shoved into your battle pass, and congratulations, you press claim all, you get millions of things in your inventory. So that's how this thing works. You can just overgrind as much as you want because everything will just be added over here. Accumulated past levels are continuously tracked. So do take note of that. And the next thing to note is that your Chapter 7 progression rewards will become available to claim on October 24th. Progression rewards meaning your lunacy for clearing stages in particular. That one will require the Chapter 7 Part 3 to drop. Then you'll be able to claim some lunacy and stuff. So do take note of that. And then after that, the new package here, we have a Season 5 Commencement Lunacy Pack. This one, 1300 Lunacy paid. You pay this amount, you get 1 Battle Pass. It is not the most efficient way to get a Battle Pass, but it is the cheapest option if you only want a Battle Pass and nothing else. So this is the thing I would recommend for any player that is willing to low spend and still want to collect every character in the game, because Battle Pass is the king of collection in this game. If you go and buy a Battle Pass, you can basically collect every single character if you're willing to put in time and stamina, as well as real life sanity. Okay, all this other stuff here, feel free to go and buy them if you want to skip any grinding sections, but otherwise you can just naturally get these resources, so I wouldn't recommend them for a new player. Same for all these other packages down here. Although they give you all these level boosters and special banners, if you do want the special banners, feel free to buy them, but the level boost ticket here is literally just if you want to progress faster. If you don't really care about that, which I recommend you not care about that, then you can feel free to skip this part here. Just buy the Battle Pass with 1300 lunacy only. Okay, so that's the Battle Pass stuff. Next we have the identity level cap increase and Luxcavation stuff. This one's really, really awesome because the issue with Limbus is that leveling up characters is pretty slow because of this kind of spikes here, right? But with the new changes, basically they are going to flatten it like this. So it's going to be a lot easier to level up our characters through a certain amount of levels here, which is very, very nice. And they're also really buffing our EXP by a little amount. It goes from like 12k to 14k, and then from here is 19k to 21k if you are using skipping here. So it's really quite okay in my opinion, but They are also adding a new Luxcavation EXP, and this new EXP Luxcavation will have slashing, piercing, and blunt stages, which will open on these days. And basically, each of them have a first time clear reward. So you should try and first time clear every single one of them, and then after that, if you are lazy, you can just skip them every single day, which is what I've been doing. So yeah, that's the EXP dungeon. And then we're also getting a threat dungeon, and this threat dungeon is going to be better than the other one, obviously, but I don't know by how much lah. I didn't really do the math for this one. I just know that this is a better threat dungeon, and the fact that they are releasing a new threat dungeon does kind of hint that maybe we will get Uptide 5 sometime soon. I don't really know, but yeah, this this new threat dungeon does kind of is a little bit sus. We could be getting Uptide 5s, and hopefully Uptide 5s does bring a lot of the old IDs back into like some sort of usability, because there are still quite a few IDs that are kind of sus without any other buffs to them because they are quite old, right? So okay, this one just a little bit sussy, but alright, we'll see what happens lah. If it does come, then awesome. If it doesn't come, then it's fine. Alright, now let's go to Season 5 Extractions and Dispensary. This one's very, very important. I'm going to show you how they lock the previous season's IDs and Egos. Alright, so in Season 5, right, what happens is that you can still pull the Season 4 units, the Season 1 to 4 units, but you cannot pull the Season 4 event units. These Season 4 units are divided into two: regular units from Season 4 and Season 4 event units. So you always see something like Season 4 event, Season 3 event, and so on and so forth. So in Season 5, you can pull Season 5 units, obviously. You can pull Season 5 event units, obviously. But you cannot pull Season 4 event units. That's it. And you can also still pull the Season 4 regular IDs. So what are the event ones? They actually show it here. It's Everlasting Faust Ego, D-Shredder Otis Ego, Multi-Crack Faust ID, and District 20 Euro TV Honglu ID. So for this one, the prioritization should be Faust if you want to do charge. Otherwise, you definitely should get Faust and Honglu, Everlasting, and District 20 for Tremor. If you're very, very interested in Tremor, or you want to buff your current Tremor team, then you go and get these ones over here. And if you're a new player, no, don't do it, because it's a very expensive investment. If you are a new player, Multi-Crack Office Fixer Faust is actually the one to go for, because all she needs is Multi-Crack Heathcliff. And if you have Multi-Crack Heathcliff, literally you will just win the game, because Multi-Crack Heathcliff will buff her, and she will buff Multi-Crack Heathcliff and also buff herself once she starts killing people. So this character here is actually quite Unga Bunga and only needs one ID to heavily support her. And even if she doesn't have that ID, she also has the standard Ego, Faust Telepole, to give her charge. So she really is quite a decent generalist by herself. It's just that she's a little bit slow to start. But after she gets the ball rolling, she is actually a beast of a unit. And if all of the content is going to be chain battles, she's actually going to be a monster. So I definitely recommend new players pick up this Faust here. Very, very powerful Faust option. And then you pick up this Faust as well as this Honglu here if you want to go for a Tremor team. And D-Shredder Otis is actually not even important for the charge team, because this only really is a selfish ego to buff W Otis. And if you want to run W Otis, feel free to get this, but W Otis is not even a really important character in the charge team. Like, you legit can just run all of the generalists in charge, like W Dawn, W Ryoshu, Reindeer Ishmael, and then pretty much like that's it. That's all you need. Like, they all will Unga Bunga by themselves, they all gain charge by themselves, and Multi-Crack Heathcliff will give them charge. And congratulations, you have yourself a generalist charge team that doesn't really care about each other, but they do support each other a little bit. So it's kind of okay, right? So that is how generally the charge teams work in this game. D-Shredder Otis is not a big priority. So once again, Tremor, very, very important for Tremors. Multi-Crack Fixer Faust, very, very good Unga Bunga character. Just go and get her, try her a little bit, press win rate a bunch, she will Unga Bunga the enemies to death. Very, very powerful character. A bit slow to start, just make sure you have a Teleport Faust, or make sure you have a Multi-Crack Heathcliff, or both. Alright, so that is the event, Season 4 IDs. Let's move on to the Season 5 Dispensary. So, take note here, Season 4 and Season 4 event IDs and Egos will not be dispensable at all. So that's what happens with the Dispensary. It completely locks down dispensing for these. But it also opens up the Season 4 Pass Egos. The paid ones and the free ones will be available for dispensing in Season 5. And this is how it will work for literally every season. As you can see here, the flow is the pass will get locked, and then the pass Ego gifts will be unlocked. Here same, here same, here same, here same. And then what happens is that Season 3, which is the previous season from this season here, is going to be unlocked. For this one, it's going to be the previous season, right? So season 3, all of these season 3 event and season 3 IDs as well as egos will be completely unlocked, and over here we can see some of the options that will be getting unlocked over here. So we can see like Pequod Captain Ishmael, a very solid option for any team comp because of the supporting capabilities. Pequod, the Pequod crew over here is great to combo with Ishmael for poise and bleed, but since bleed is not very awesome outside of Mirror Dungeon, they are not super viable. But at the same time, we are getting the season of bleed. Literally, it's a Blood Fiend season, so that means that these characters here should see some glow ups in the next season, and all of these other characters here are options for using. I don't particularly find any big option to use them for. I only use LCCB Ryoshu to buff Solemn Lament Yisang's bullets, and that's pretty much it. Middle Assault is good for sanity generation as a support passive, and then Twin Hook and Middle Dawn, I rarely use them. So that one's up to you if you want to use them. But this one is like a Poise Bleed archetype, and this one is a Bleeding Envy archetype, which is okay but not like super amazing. And then Garden of Thorns Gregor, I straight up have never used this ego. I saw it, I thought it was quite crap, and then I just never used it ever again. So that's why I think of this ego. If anyone has ever experimented with this and has found some sort of niche use for it, feel free to. Otherwise, I would recommend not getting the Garden of Thorns Gregor. And then after that, the event ones, there are a lot of significant ones here. If you want to run Poise team, Blade Lineage Assault, a must-have. Blade Lineage Dawn, very awesome. Blade Lineage Faust, very awesome also. Like all of these characters here, very good for the Poise team. And Massault is the most important one if you want to go for a pure Poise team, because he buffs all of the Blade Lineage gang. Holiday Otis, another very solid ego, because this one will heal sanity. Very important to heal sanity, and this allows Otis to do it, which means that it does free up some slots. Like if you have Fluid Sac Faust, well, congrats, you get to dump that and then use Holiday Otis for the SP part. But then you need to go and find someone else to do the healing. Maybe you take like Gregor and then you take Lantern Gregor or some shit like that. But Kurokumo Clan Gregor, not super important for bleed. Holiday Heathcliff, not really super important for anything really. I find Body Sack way better than Holiday Heathcliff, so there's no point in getting this one for now. Alright. So that is my opinions of the Season 3 stuff that's going to be coming back. For the Season 4 Egos, if you have not gotten them already, I do recommend pushing your Battle Pass to 120 at least, so you can get all the free Egos, so that you can only dispense the paid ones that you did not pay for. Alright, or if you're going to pay for this season because you have enough levels, then feel free to, but it's quite close to the end, so I wouldn't recommend buying unless you're willing to commit a crazy amount of time to just go and press win rate in the Mirror Dungeon and then just get to level 120 in the Battle Pass. It is still doable, don't get me wrong, it's just that you will have to sacrifice some in real life sanity in order to go and press win rate a bunch in Mirror Dungeon. Okay, and then Season 4 Pass Eco here, the good ones is like Binds Heathcliff, Bygone Days Gregor, Bygone Days Yisang. I think Gregor is because of the SP gain, but I personally never use it too much. I always use Solemn Lament. But Bygone Days Yisang, very awesome for sinking. Binds Heathcliff, very awesome with Earl King. Everything else here is not particularly remembered, honestly. I don't recall ever using the Electric Screamers. And Binds Otis I also don't recall using too much, because I only use Everlasting and I only use Cavernous Wailing for Tremor. So that's pretty much the state of the Season 4 paid Egos in my opinion. I only use the top 3 here, and Bygone Days not even that much. I use Solemn Lament more. Alright. So that is all of the Season 5 Dispensary shit. So once again, for Dispensary and Extraction, you can get the IDs and Egos, the regular ones, but you cannot get the event ones. And for Dispensary, Season 4 IDs and Egos, for the regular ones, cannot dispense. Season 4 event also cannot dispense. So the priority for Dispensary in this current season, Season 4, is to get the Season 4 event ones that you want now. Like, get them as fast as possible. And then after that, you get the Season 4 regular ones, because at least you still have a chance of getting spooked by them in Season 5. But I do recommend getting the high priority ones that you personally think is very important to your team comp, or very important because you think that they're cool or whatever the hell. Just go and get the units that you really want before it transfers over, and then it gets locked out of Dispensary and you only have to freaking pull for it in order to get it. So yeah, do that as your priority, and this is in combination with the shard system, because the shard system will halve it when you go into the next season. So there is a big urgency to go and buy all of the Season 4 units that you want. Then after that, let it decay into Season 5, and then you will use the leftovers to try and get your other characters in Season 5. Okay, so that's pretty much how this system works. And now let's move on to the last bits here, which is there is going to be a new announcer added at the end of Season 5 Part 3, which is Dawn Season. So we're getting a new announcer here. Maybe it's Dawn? Or Moses, maybe? I did see some comments saying that the voice at the end there could actually be Moses. And when you guys said that, I remembered that in Distortion Detective, she did encounter a Blood Fiend and did chat with them and did learn about them. So it is actually pretty plausible that it is a Moses announcer. And if it is, it's 100% getting bought by me, alright? So that is all I'm going to say for this one. If it is Moses, awesome. If it's just a Dawn announcer, then I don't really care too much. I'm still waiting for Ryoshu announcer, but I probably have to wait until her Kanto drops, then I'll be able to get her. And then Mirror Dungeon 5 preview. This one, I will mention one thing. See, Mirror Dungeon 4 will end, and then Mirror Dungeon 5 will replace it. And what happens when Mirror Dungeon 5 comes is that all of your Starlight from Mirror Dungeon 4 is deleted, like gone. Do note that this is so that you can experience Mirror Dungeon 5 completely from scratch, so that there's a lot of things to do. If they transfer over the Starlight, then there wouldn't be too much things to do, and then you might get a little bit bored already by the new Mirror Dungeon. So this is to kind of give you a fresher experience and whatnot. If you are not comfortable with that, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is for every Mirror Dungeon. Pretty much we go into a new Mirror Dungeon, we get new Ego Gifts, we get new encounters, we get new bosses, and then we get new fusions, and then we also get a new fresh roguelike progression tree. So everything here is going to be very, very new in Mirror Dungeon 5, but if they are following the formula from Mirror Dungeon 4, we are going to get all of the old content added into Mirror Dungeon 5. So you can still do your Blade lineage fights here, you can fight Kim all you want in hard mode, Mirror Dungeon 5, and so on and so forth. Right, okay. So this is pretty much the summary of all of the stuff that is talked about here. The most important things for new players is the carryover as well as what is available for extraction and dispensing. So that means get your Season 4 event IDs and Egos, and then after that get your Season 4 high priority IDs and Egos, and then after that you can feel free to extract the rest, or you just let it decay into the next season because everything is going to get halved. Alright. And then your gradual main story and battle pass, all of this stuff here is going to be unlocked in stages, but feel free to overgrind if you want, if you are going to buy the next season's battle pass. Very, very good option if you are willing to spend a little bit just to collect literally every character in the game. You can do that, okay? Like you buy one battle pass, you just invest until you get 3,000 levels in the battle pass and you have collected literally everything in the game. There is a very good possibility you can do that. If you do this, all you need to do is just burn sanity in real life and burn stamina in game. And then the new packages, really the only interesting one is the Battle Pass one. Everything else is just if you want to skip the grinding. Identity level caps is great. This one, I already talked about it. New announcer, Moses maybe, hopefully, and then everything else is whatever. So that's pretty much the summary of this thing here. If you're an old player, you know this. If you're a new and returning player, hopefully this has helped you. Alright, if you have any other questions for the season transfer, feel free to just ask them in the comments. Everyone here literally is an old fart who knows what is going to happen in the change. And if you're a new player who's just coming to the channel, welcome to Limbus, and we will help you as much as possible. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.